in the deep dark lair of Mega Silver.
We had no ideas or budget for this intro this time, so cue the review.
The Nintendo 3DS. What fond memories we have of this little handheld, but as you may already know, it didn't get off to the greatest start. Mario Kart 7 began development in early 2010 as a port of Mario Kart Wii. That's a first for a series. It later became its own game, but was given very low priority. Like 8 people working on this game kind of priority. Nintendogs and Cats was gonna release first, and thus that game had more priority over this one. Let me remind you once more, they gave Mario Kart, one of Nintendo's biggest franchises that usually rakes in the dough, lower priority than a game about dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria! Soon they realized that there wasn't enough people working on this game, and they asked Retro Studios to help out with the retro tracks. More as say, boy, they ain't called Retro Studios for nothing! And so, Mario Kart 3DS, which became Mario Kart 7, released in 2011. Like a lot of 3DS games at a time, like Super Mario 3DS, Kid Icarus Uprising, Luigi's Mansion 2, Paper Mario 3DS, before I even knew it was crap. I was really looking forward to this game. I even had one of them 3D trailers on the 3DS. Unlike Mario Kart DS or Wii, where it was owned by someone else and I had to share, this game was all mine. Hands off, feeble peasants! No touchy!
So, thanks to the release of this game and Super Mario 3D Land in the winter of 2011, the 3DS would get an increase in popularity and sales. Funny enough, even though I had a 3DS, I don't think I actually owned Mario Kart 7. The first time I tried it out was at a friend's house, aka Retro.
Hey.
So, I don't have that much nostalgia with this one, unlike DS and Wii.
I got my 3DS alongside this game for Christmas about a year after its release. Thinking back, this was really the only 3DS game I played on it, along with New Super Mario Bros. 2. Most games I played on my 3DS were just my old DS games. Because I don't know what was wrong with my 3DS back then, but it kept shutting off on me, even though I took good care of it. But I still had fun with the 3DS with the small amount of time I had with it.
Booting up the game, the modes available are familiar. Grand Prix with the usual CC options, time trials, balloon battle, and coin runners. However, this time, there's no single player versus mode. Wait, what?
Excusez-moi, but why? I was so disappointed when I played this game as a kid, when there was no single player versus mode. That was one of my favorite modes to play in DS and Wii. Why can't I freely just choose whatever courses I want to play? I gotta play through a whole cup just to replay that one course I wanna play?
For the characters, you got the usual. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Toad, Bowser, Wario, Donkey Kong, as well as my boy Koopa Troopa returning for another round.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it. You like Koopa Troopa.
Shut up!
No one cares. He can't be. He sucks.
Oh, fuck yourselves!
Daisy and Rosalina also return.
Also, Shy Guy returns this time as a playable character. No needing to do download play to play as him. And you can choose your good old me. There's also some new faces, like Honey Queen from Mario Galaxy.
What? So really was too big for Smash Bros. 4, but the Queen Bee's no problem?
Whittler, Lakitu sporting a red shell instead of a green one. I guess he's a species now. And Metal Mario... Wait, what? Metal Mario? He's now a separate entity to Mario like in Smash 64? What an odd choice.
Then again, he was also a separate character in the Western version of Mario Golf. But yeah, why is he a separate character? When are we gonna get Winged Mario as a separate character?
This is certainly the funkiest roster in Mario Kart history so far. And this time, Waluigi is absent. That's a shame. But I can understand due to the tight development schedule this game had, and perhaps they wanted 7's roster to feel more unique. It certainly stands out alright.
Now vehicles got quite the change up this time around. Instead of just choosing a vehicle, you get to choose the body, the wheels, and the glider. You unlock them with coins you collect on the track at random. Shame they didn't bring back the logo creator. It seems like a no-brainer to have in a game with vehicle customization.
I mean, then again, it could have been such a pain in the ass to censor with certain people.
Yes, because the internet is such an interesting place. Another thing to mention, bikes are absent for this game. You got your standard stuff, but you also give your cart giant or small wheels. You also have returning carts like the B-Dasher, Egg 1, and the Pipe Frame. Some new stuff here are like a Cactus, a Cloud, a Bee, a jet powered by fizzy drinks, the Bruiser, the Barrel Train, a Boat, the Gherkin, the Blue 7, and the Bolt Buddy. You can also have your entire cart be made of gold. Something tells me Mr. Krabs is going to be happy with that.
Here's something I wasn't expecting to be brought back when going from the Wii to the 3DS back then. The trick system. Much less skill based than before though. Instead of shaking the controller, which honestly would be pretty bad for the 3DS console.
Come on already, I know you want to shake me to get all the play toys.
You press the drift button, and there's no half pipes to do tricks off of. Just the ramps. You also only do one trick rather than many, and the characters' poses are less dynamic. It's an unfortunate downgrade, but it's probably either this or nothing. The 3D on this game works pretty well too. There's a lot of depth between you and the rest of the course, some of the incoming items, the HUD, and it looks especially good with the flybys. Though it's only noticeable if you stop and take a look, and when you're in a race, it's unlikely that's gonna happen. Early 3DS games really did try to sell you on the 3D gimmick, and I'd say the 3DS did its best. Though it's unfortunate that it's nothing more than a cool moment. 3D Land was the only game that made you feel like you really needed a 3D.
We are back to having 8 racers per race, and this game introduces the gliding and underwater driving mechanics. When you jump off a blue ramp, you can glide through the air, but be careful not to get hit with an item, then you'll fall to your doom.
The cannon sections are turned into full-on glider sections. I know that this is a stupid nitpick, but I really do miss the cannon sections from Double Dash to Wii. It was so cool to watch the cannon blast your character into the air at full speed, and in some instances, they struggled to hold onto the vehicle. It was such a breathtaking spectacle that later Mario Kart games kinda ruined with the gliders doing most of the work.
As for the underwater sections, they're exactly how you would expect. You drive underwater with a propeller on the back of your cart. That means a lot of the water areas that were once danger zones are now safe to drive in.
Toad Circuit serves as the starter track for this game. There's giant toad balloons, and you get to glide over the starting line. Reminds me of Figure 8 Circuit, if the last circle of the track was in a funky shape for an 8. Daisy Hills has a shortcut and a big jump with windmills to avoid. This course properly introduces the gliding mechanic, and it's got goats. A nice peaceful track with charming music and scenery. And goats.
Cheap Cheap Lagoon has an underwater section, a cave, and that's it. It's a very short track that exists just to ease the player into the underwater mechanic, and nothing more.
Shy Guy Bazaar, a pretty good looking night track with its Arabian Nights presentation. Now I'm wondering, did Sonic happen to run through this place? Woohoo Island Loop, based on Wii Sports Resort, and it's the first Mario Kart track to be split into sections rather than laps. You start at Woohoo Town, then you drive around the road around Woohoo Island, and at the end you have the option to keep driving or go to the lighthouse and glide. A pretty awesome track.
Woohoo! Mario Circuit. I like the part where you drive inside the castle, and this part reminds me of 64's Mario Races Away.
Melody Motorway, or Music Park. Quite the musical with this one. You ride on a few music instruments, dodge a couple of piranha plants, and jump around with these music note guys at the end. Or glide over for a little bit.
Alpine Pass / Rock Mountain.
I think it's pronounced Alpine.
Shut up!
I remember because of Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games.
That game never existed.
Neither did Sonic Heroes.
You glide out of the cave, and you climb up a super steep mountain. I like all of the gliding here.
Piranha Plant Pipeway or Slide. A fun water slide level that probably has the best implementation of the underwater mechanic. The track is a homage to the underground levels from Super Mario Bros. With the dark underground environment. Lots of piranha plants to avoid, water pushing you forward to the underwater section, like a slide at a water park. And then you get to glide out of a castle, resembling the ones you reached at the end of a level. Overall, one of the game's strongest Nitro tracks.
Wario Shipyard or Galleon, whatever. Shao Kahn and Wario's beef continues, as, angered over Wario's antics, Shao Kahn blows up Wario's new fleet as payback. Too bad he ended up giving Wario a new track for him and his friends to race around. So suck it, Shao Kahn, Emperor of Dumbasses! Jeez, and I thought Settor and Mr. Krabs' beef was bad.
Koopa City / Neo Bowser City. Believe it or not, there's some deep lore with this one. This takes place in an alternate dimension where Bowser has already taken over the Mushroom Kingdom. And this is his city. Yeah, remember Mario's time machine? Well, he built himself another one and has kidnapped Mario when he was just a baby. Princess Peach is now Bowser's wife. The question mark blocks are barely anywhere in sight, so no power-ups. The only thing that's normal is Luigi. Yeah, apparently earlier, he and Professor Egad was fixing up the old time machine and were testing out see if it works. But when they got back, everything turned into Neo Koopa City. So now Luigi has to go back to the past and save Mario, along with going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get Koopas off the menu. That's right, he's going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get Koopas off the menu.
Based.
Are you serious?
The rain looks cool in this track. I like it.
Woohoo Mountain Loop / Maka Woohoo. This is a second track set in Woohoo Island. That's how you know Wii Sports Resort is awesome. This time you drive up Maka Woohoo into it, and then you glide down with a beautiful view of the sunset to the beach. Both of the Woohoo tracks are awesome, and I'm disappointed that neither of them came back in a boosted course pass. Where's my Mii representation, Nintendo?
I will say this though, the mountain track probably makes the best use of the gliding mechanic.
DK Jungle. With Retro Studios assisting with this game's development, we got a Donkey Kong Country themed track. You drive around the jungle into a golden temple with a giant banana in the middle, and then glide out past some screaming statues. What the heck did I do? I'm just driving past!
Rosalina's Ice World.
I just can't hold it back anymore. With these ice powers, I am going to become. So I'll let it go. Let it go. I must release the combat rage inside of me. Let it go. Let it go. I have no clue what these lyrics are.
I'm glad I watched that movie. Was worth the trend.
Okay, it's a pretty good movie, but no one would shut up about it.
This is a very unique place, I'll say. I'm gonna assume icy planets with the Cosmic Observatory right next to it. Suddenly, the Aurora Rosalina is starting to make a whole lot more sense. Spyro had an icy costume too in CTR Nitro Feud. What's going on around here? Anyway, the track is good. I like a good icy Mario Kart track. The time with the hot pipe is fun to drift around on.
Alright, time to see what Mario Kart 7's Bowser Castle track has in store for us. Already we're off to a great start with a big jump into that infamous Bowser face and scary laugh. Okay, 2 thwomps, they must be the warm-up, and ooh, a spinning tube and an underwater section with some lava, an outdoor section, and oh, it's over.
Oh, well, the castle, it died.
Yeah, this version of Bowser's Castle starts off just as how you would expect, with the scary vibe, and then it kinda just falls down hard. 2 lone thwomps should not be the biggest obstacle in a frickin' Bowser Castle track. Bowser Castles of the past usually have more threatening obstacles for you to deal with. In this one, you're not even in the castle for that long before you plunge into the water and then go outside. This is one of the easiest and least scary Bowser Castle tracks, and for that reason, it's probably the worst 3D Bowser Castle track in the series.
That's it! That's the Bowser chat we've all been waiting for!
That was just 2 lone thwomps in a water section! Bowser betrayed us! He found me with his lousy Bowser Castle track! I'm gonna run away, and no one can stop me!
Rambo next.
Ooh boy! This is yet another beautiful iteration of Mario Kart's staple final track.
We are going to the moon!
Hope we don't run into Tim Curry.
This Rainbow Road goes all out with the space adventure vibe, with beautiful calm music that conveys the beauty and wonders of space. You drive on Saturn before landing on the moon, dodging chain chomps, and then you go through a pipe as the music intensifies, signifying that your journey is coming to a close. You make a few final turns up a slope with a beautiful view of the sun, and then you're done. Certainly a magnificent iteration of Rainbow Road that stands out among its predecessors and successors.
Moving over to the retro courses, handled fittingly by Retro Studios, a company that makes amazing great games, and one mid, we begin the Show Cup with N64 Luigi Races Away Again.
See you. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, next up, Luigi. Luigi, number one.
This course is the same, and the screen is no longer a Microsoft PowerPoint slideshow. The power of the 3DS is truly next gen, ladies and retro men. GPA Bowser's Castle. I don't know why, I just like this one. It's got that very simple but fun charm to it. Lots of tight corners to drift around, and a lot of moments to do them tricks. And at least there's not 7 of these damn Bowser Castle tracks.
Wii Mushroom Gorge. Good to see this track again, still as fun as it was on Wii, and the visuals are pretty well preserved, considering the 3DS is less powerful than the Wii. Although a shortcut is missing, it's not a big deal, and there's an Astro Blue mushroom in the jump area that allows you to glide.
Boston Building makes its 3rd appearance in the Mario Kart series, and perhaps it's not as dark and spooky as its DS counterpart, since the building's now in plain sight on the 3DS, but it's still really fun to drive in, with boos sticking out of the paintings, and overall, Boston Building remains intact.
Okay, why the heck is he calling Luigi's Mansion Boston Building?
You think I know?
Zooey mama, motherfuckers!
N64 Krupa Beach. You can now drive underwater as expected, giving you a better shot at a shortcut. Other than that, nothing very much changed with this one. And my boy's got a much better retro track in store for us later, so next.
SNES Mario Circuit. What number is this again? Genuinely, I forgot what number it was and I didn't put it in the script, so. Yep, another one of these Mario Circuit tracks, and it looks about as generic as the one featured in DS and Wii. But get this! You'll never believe what they did to make this track stand out from the others. Are you ready to hear it? You ready? They made the ramp a glider section that allows you to fly over a section of the track that was previously out of bounds. Oh! 5 stars! S+! 48 stars! Best damn course of the series! Final Fantasy VII is the best kart racer ever made!
Coconut Mall from Mario Kart Wii is preserved in all its glory. Yeah, it does feel empty this time due to the lack of Miis, and there's one less car in the parking lot, but come on, it's still Coconut Mall. The nerfs aren't enough to dampen our enjoyment of this banner of a track, and the music has some extra piano beats added. That's a nice touch. No matter what Mario Kart game you are playing, Coconut Mall is peak.
Followed by another peak of a track, Waluigi Pinball. 2 of the best tracks in the Mario Kart series are in the same game back to back. And just like Coconut Mall, Waluigi Pinball is preserved in all of its glory. From the music to the unique sound effects, and overall being a fun, challenging track with an energetic atmosphere that never fails to bring me joy no matter what game I'm playing it on.
But you can't play as Waluigi in Mario Kart 7 in Waluigi Pinball. What the fuck?
N64 Calamari Desert. And why the hell did Big Smoke take over the damn train? There are glider ramps added for shortcuts, and you can no longer drive in the tunnel, which is a bit disappointing, but hey, it's still a good track. Don't worry, CJ, the train goes in circles.
DK Pass. They added a fog filter that disappears after 1 lap, like in DK Snowboard Cross from Wii. And I like the glider ramp there. GameCube Daisy Cruiser. You can drive in the pool now?
Life could be dream. Life could be dream.
Wii Maple Treeway is still a beautiful track and fun to play on, even with the absence of the half pipes and the jack-off bridge being replaced with a glider section. I know that Mario Kart 7 and 8's trick systems are not as crazy as Wii's, but I still miss that section. And no, not because some Nintendo YouTuber made it a meme.
Here we go!
Come on! Yeah,
They had to censor the track.
Wii Tuba Cape, another classic from the Wii, shows up once again. This time, the top part of the dome area is gone, so now you're truly driving underwater. Although this case, the track does lose some of its magic. It's still good though, it just goes to show how good Wii's tracks were.
GameCube Dino Jungle is much easier in this game. Thanks to the controls, I won't be falling off this bridge today, no sir! And these ramps are now glider sections. Hi Dinosaur, he's a happy boy. He gets a little mad in Odyssey. He just needs a happy meal.
can I get a Big Mac, please?
DS Airship Fortress, still an awesome track, though an easier version because you could easily dodge the fire by turning left and right because it could only reach the middle of the floor. Whereas in DS, they covered the whole floor. Also, is it just me, or do the bullet bills look more menacing?
Actually, those are bonsai bills.
Don't you mean bomber bills?
No!
When one Rainbow Road is just too boring, how about two? SNES Rainbow Road.
Not gonna lie, this was very unexpected. This is much easier than in Super Mario Kart, since the track itself is a whole lot bigger, as well as having good controls this time. Still a lot of fun with no guardrails of any kind, as well as invincible thwomps, a couple of ramps, and every time the thwomp slams down, the track is all wavy, letting you do more tricks. Whether you prefer this one or Super's version, this is still a pretty fun track, and a great way to end off the retro courses. Not too bad, Retro Studios, especially for your first time.
I have to say, going back to this game, even with 8 Deluxe's vast course selection having some of these tracks, Mario Kart 7's track selection still holds up. Yeah, a lot of them have been remade in 8, the Booster Course Pass, and World, but 7's track design still has its charm.
Mario Kart 7 controls are just as good as Wii's. This might be due to the kart parts, or the fact I've played these courses so many times, but I feel like I have much better control. I'm rarely bumping into walls or falling off the ledges, though it does still happen a bit. I feel like the king of Mario Kart 7. Nah, there's still way better people than me. Not you, Lucario X.
I mean, let's be real, you still tell me, fuck you, Lucario X, even though I still lost those races. At least I managed to reach second this time.
F you.
However, unlike in DS, the bottom screen no longer shows the item boxes or certain obstacles on the track, or when the track changes. If you ask me, this is a pretty big downgrade, especially since the bottom screen in DS was such an innovative and helpful feature. In 7, it just feels like it's here for show.
Huh. That does make the squid item more of a nuisance, since you can't see the item box very well. But I understand.
It can't be a Mario Kart game without some good old items. We have the classics return as well as some new ones. There is the Super Leaf that gives your card a tail that you can hit opponents close to you, or use it to get rid of any oncoming red shells. There is the Fireball, so you can purge your enemies in flame in the name of the Emperor! There is the Lucky 7 that gives you 7 items if you're in not a good position. You have 2 ways of using it, either go nuts or plan your moves. All Wii items are absent for some reason. So no Mega Mushroom, Thunder Clouds, or Power Block. There's no more fake item bots from this game onward. Oh well, you will not be missed.
The blue shell is back to having no wings because it stopped drinking Red Bull, and it knocks over everyone just like in Mario Kart 64. The animation is less scary in my opinion, since in Wii it moves much faster, and with the wings flapping rapidly, it made you feel, oh shit, I'm screwed.
Even without wings, it can still fly!
Oh, and guess what? Coins are back, bitches! And this time, as Lucario X mentioned earlier, they unlock kart parts at random. Yeah, you don't get to choose what kart part you want to be rewarded with. The game just gives you one at random. And like in Super Circuit, they slightly increase your top speed.
This game also has a first-person view. A first for the series. It is a little weird though when you get hit and it goes out of the first-person perspective. It's a bit disorienting, but I get it. 3D, and it does go hand in hand a little bit. You also use motion controls with this. It's nice that they made it an option. This is the worst Mario Kart experience ever. Oh my god, it is so sensitive. A slight tilt and you go all the way left or right. And it makes it worse when you get hit. And the fact that the camera doesn't tilt with your 3DS kinda breaks any illusion it's attempting to make. I have reached the depths of hell and I am traumatized.
The graphics are pretty impressive for the time, showcasing the power of the 3DS. If you ask me, it almost looks just as good as Mario Kart Wii, maybe even better considering the bloom is gone.
Just like Sonic Colors Ultimate, the game is better on arguably weaker hardware. Oh yeah, there's also this neat thing with the music where when you get into first place during a race, they'll add an additional beats to the music. It's subtle, but I like that detail. And the rest of the soundtrack is as good as usual. And then we get to the battle mode. Okay, so after we made a not so good version, did 7 fix the issues? Yes. And no? In Bloom Battle, you can go back to turning the teams on or off, but it's still time-based for Bloom Battle, which is a bit stupid. I mean, it's better than a Wii, but you'll still respawn back after losing all of your balloons with a new set of balloons. What's the point of having the balloons?
And as for coin runners, you can only hold up to 10 coins at a time. Yeah, coin runners kinda blows in Mario Kart 7. The fun of coin runners in Wii was hoarding as much coins as possible like a mad lad, and getting hit meant you lost a good chunk of them. So coin runners was basically be the greediest rich bastard to win. In 7 you don't really get that feeling, since you're only able to hold 10 at a time, and it's like once you're at 10, there's no point in looking for more. You just gotta hold on to what you have, and just like that, you win the game.
The stage selection, yeah, it's not that big. We have only 3 new and 3 returning stages. Honeybee High, one of those courses with a lot of rooms, but this time there's honey to slow you down and oh crap!
Sherbet Rink, a big ice rink with a good amount of space and ice physics. Next.
Woohoo Town. Okay, the Mii's are really allowing Mario and the gang to have a whole lot of the island, because not only is there 2 tracks, but a battle stage as well. A lot of corners and alleys to use to your advantage.
GBA Battle Course 1, which is now in the SNES art style. Okay. It still has the GBA battle music, so it's fine regardless. You can use the lanes to your advantage like in the Mario Kart Wii one, the SNES one, not the GBA one, dear god. Yeah, it's a functional battle stage, alright.
N64, Big Donut. Oh shit, we better not make sure to tell Wiggum or the rest of the Springfield Police Department about this.
I am proceeding on foot, calling it Code 8.
We need pretzels. Repeat, pretzels.
They added glider ramps to make it easier to get over to the other side and catch up with your opponents.
DS Palm Shore, pretty much the same as before, except now you can drive on the water. So it's just a small circle of crabs and that's it.
Next.
Mario Kart 7's battle mode is half an improvement over Wii's and half a downgrade. Better balloon battle, but if I want to go nuts in coin runners, I can just boot up Mario Kart Wii or 8 Deluxe.
Multiplayer is back in a similar form to Mario Kart DS. If one player has a copy of the game, up to 8 players can join in, with download play users being restricted to Shy Guy and a standard Kart loadout, unfortunately. But if every player has a copy of the game, you get the full, uncompromised experience.
However, regardless, if you're playing the multiplayer locally or online, you cannot pause the game, which is so stupid. What if something happens? If someone needs to, I don't know, go to the bathroom or get food? It makes sense for online matches, but not local play.
We end up finding out that the hard way.
Speaking of which, once again, the online mode returns, which was then shut down 2 years ago. Unlike Wii, where I didn't get to experience much of it, I definitely do remember playing this game online a lot more. There was definitely a lot of waiting, but at least you got the trailer's music while waiting. I had a lot of fun playing this. It ain't Smash Bros, but it was fun. However, because one of the gold parts was locked behind getting enough VR points, which is how you get points online by winning. The only way I can get the gold body parts is by collecting 20,000 coins. And after 15 years, I haven't even collected 8,000.
I also played a good bit of the online back from 2016 to 2017, when I was getting back into Nintendo, before my old 3DS finally died on me for good, and I got the Switch. I had a good amount of fun with Mario Kart 7's online, and I got to play a few last rounds of Mario Kart 7's online on my new 3DS before the online shut down in 2024. And here is the photo of my final match of Mario Kart 7 online. Had some good times with this game online. Rip the Nintendo Network.
Another thing this game has is Street Pass.
Now that takes me back!
For those who don't know, Street Pass was this thing where you would have your 3DS in sleep mode, and as you'd pass another person walking by who also has his or her 3DS in sleep mode, they'd send certain data to each other for games that supported it. In this game, you'd be able to see their stats, share ghost data. Oh yeah, you can also race up to 7 ghosts at once if you like now. Have them Mii's randomly be racers whenever you play a Grand Prix, and if they were playing online, you'd be able to join in on whatever race they were in. It was a neat little feature, and a lot of games used it pretty well. So, that was Final Fantasy VII. So, that was Mario Kart 7. What do we think of it? I still love it. There are some stuff that were improved in later games, especially the track selection in 8 Deluxe. Silver, will we have to talk about all of them in that review?
Of course!
Call it me being biased, but at the time, this was my Mario Kart Wii on the go, with a few things that were made better, like the courses, and even the controls. Sure, trying to pick car parts was annoying, as more so in 8 Deluxe, but once I go with my set, I am raking in the wins, baby! Okay, I think I know the reason why I favor this game. Nonetheless, still a good entry. I wouldn't see any reason to go all your way to get a 3DS and this game if you already have other Mario Kart games, but if you do, you'll have a good time, as long as you don't turn on the motion controls. I'll never get that golden steering wheel.
To me, it's a pretty good entry. It had some cool tracks that should be brought back in the near future, and the customizing turrets was interesting. It's not a perfect entry, mind you, but it's enjoyable to try out from time to time. A good Mario Kart to bring with you on the go if you can't find a copy of DS.
I may have looked a bit down on this game in the past post 8 Deluxe's release. Not that there was anything that Mario Kart 7 did wrong, mind you, but Mario Kart 8 and by that extent 8 Deluxe took everything that this game did and improved upon it. But looking back at this game for this review, I have much more appreciation for Mario Kart 7. It is yet another good Mario Kart game that introduced a lot of the new interesting mechanics that we come to love in Mario Kart 8, and as any good Mario Kart game has, it has a really strong track selection. Though a good chunk of them were brought over to 8, the Booster Course Pass, and World, their 7 incarnations still have their charm, and there is fun to be had with the strong selection. The battle mode is half an improvement over Wii, but half a downgrade. Definitely not the best battle mode the series has to offer, but it's certainly not the worst. Mario Kart 7 does get overlooked a lot, understandably thanks to its successor, but it's still a solid game that showcased an impressive bridge between the previous handheld and home console entries in the series, having DS's intuitive features, somewhat, and the graphics that are almost on par with Mario Kart Wii, so I say give this game a try. It might not have much going for it nowadays, but it's just a good fun entry with a good selection of tracks.
Silver, I just figured out the plot for the review. We're going to go to the moon. Because Rainbow Road, right?
Don't you remember the last time we tried to go to the moon?